composite average, according to the Department of Energy. And I very quickly said, we will see this trend continue until the shooting stops in the Middle East. And lo and behold, what was it this time? As I pull up the official numbers, it was an increase of 19.8 cents.
Wasn't the
over
last
week.
increase almost 20 cents also?
Yes. And since the record is $5.81, if this trend continues next week, we could very well be breaking the record diesel prices. Yeah, it's
Ouch.
Yeah. There's every region on the screen there, and changes in every region. I mean, we've seen as much as a quarter increase on the Gulf Coast in California. That's a lot. That's a lot. And oh, by the way, for those who don't know, California, which is currently sitting at $7.04, is already above where everything peaked in the summer of 2022. In fact, California was at one point 745 just a couple months ago, which is California's own specific record. So,
Dang.
guys, it is expensive. And if you think that it's not realistic, I will repeat my prediction from last week. Okay. End of the year, because diesel supplies are low in the summertime when we're usually building them up. When we get to the end of the year in December this year, when consumption is really high on diesel, we can see prices as high as $7 a gallon nationwide. Okay. I'm telling you, if things do not change in the Middle East, like now, we will see $7 a gallon diesel.
I have a simple question for you, so that way we can maybe help some of the shippers and things understand it a little bit. What point do you think a fuel increase is no longer background noise and it changes how the carrier actually operates? Which do you think that? Because I think that's important for shippers to know. I think it's important for them to understand that there genuinely is a point where we have to change significantly how things are happening.
Well, we crossed that line in my mind. We crossed that line back when Russia invaded Ukraine. We crossed that line because that was our first massive increase in diesel, and shippers back then were like, "Oh my God, are you freaking kidding me? What do you mean a fuel surcharge? What the hell's this? You promised me this rate. What do you mean that you're tacking a fuel surcharge?" Guys, when you're getting 6-7 miles to the gallon, okay, that is a lot of excess cost. We're now talking about $1 a mile just in fuel. $1 a mile. Okay. I don't think shippers understand how much of a swing that fuel actually has in the equation, and they need to take that into account. And by the way, brokers are part of the problem, not necessarily you, Shimmi. I know you're not part of the problem, but I'm going to say brokers are part of the problem because brokers want to maintain relationships, so they take it on the chin, they take it out of their own pocket, so that they can not surprise the customer with any kind of increases. But at some point, a broker cannot sustain giving discounts over and over and over again just to keep a customer happy. At some point, we have to sit there and say, "Mr. Customer, look, this is the way of the world, and you can deal with it."
Yep, and that's exactly where we're at.
Unfortunately, you have bad brokers who will sit there and say, "Oh, you want to get 50 cents less per mile, and we'll be able to take you on? Okay, no problem." And I just want to shake my head. We keep undercutting each other. That is why we are in the situation that we're in today, and why shippers do not understand when they get bad news, such as, "Hey, we're putting more into the cost because of fuel."
Yep. Delphine and I were just talking about that last night, how people just keep, in every industry, it's people are saying doing cheap, 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 cheap. And now it's expecting all of the customers to understand that Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Jeff Dickinson's comment. I see his comment in thing here.
Thank God I have a
thank
horse.
God he has a horse.
Hi, Narc.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm back.
Oh yeah,
hi, Ken.
I'm missing this. I think there's a clip or something we have here. Apparently we have a shout out for Natasha Cruz Sanchez, who spoke at the Texas Capitol yesterday in front of the Senate Committee on Transportation. This should be interesting. Tammy, go ahead and roll that clip, please.
I'm not sure she.
At the end of the show.
At the end. Oh, I see. Sorry, Mother. I apologize. We'll get back to that. That's Mother, everyone. I didn't catch the at the end. I've got to read the production notes.
Do you read as fast as you talk? Do you read as fast as you talk?
No.
I don't have it uploaded yet, guys.
Part of my problem is this. I'm using the same prescription I've had for 3 years now. I have got to update my damn prescription. I am at that age where I need progressive lenses, and I need. I know I'm old. I get it. But yeah, I need some new freaking lenses so I can see this.
I'll never let you live that down. Because no matter how old you get, I'm still gonna be way younger than you. So yes, and I will always refer to you as being 20 years my junior. So it's okay, kid. You're all right. All right, let's switch gears a little. So we spend a lot of time talking. Time and freight talking about companies, carrier names, brokerages, customers, logos, but this industry is way smaller than people think it is. We say that all the time because it's true. And eventually you realize your company might get you into the room, but your name determines whether people want you back, which brings us to today's topic, building your name in a relationship-driven industry. Why does your name still matter more than the logo behind it? And because we're talking personal brand today, I have to bring in Dolly Parton. Okay.
Oh,
I know. She famously said, it was so sad. You cried, right?
I did. I have a special place in my heart for Dolly. And if you're just now hearing it, the great Dolly Parton is now the late, great Dolly Parton. She passed yesterday. So our condolences to her fans. And I mean, you want to talk about an American treasure. She's definitely one.
Absolutely. And I thought she would be perfect today for her quote, find out who you are and do it on purpose. Because it might be one of the best personal brand strategies ever written. Dolly has been Dolly through music, movies, businesses, philanthropy, everything. You know exactly who you're getting. And freight really isn't that different. Maybe slightly more detention and less rhinestones. But I'm willing to fix that. I am willing to fix that.
I'm waiting to see you pop out the rhinestones now.
If you don't think that I have a massive amount of rhinestones, you would be very wrong. I'm just a girl.
I'm sure you do. Oh, Friday's going to be interesting.
I know. When did you first realize you needed a name that belonged to John and not just whatever company happened to be on your email signature?
I think I really got into that probably, it was around 2010. It was around 2010. I knew that I was good. I knew that I had a lot to offer. And then I started really trying to push myself as a brand. I knew I was, at that time, I was working for Pier 1 Imports. I was running a distribution center for them, the shipping department. And I knew that was not going to be the only place I was going to be. I also realized, oh my God. We all are, Narc.
There will be no tassels. Rhinestones, I will see what I can do for you, Narc. But tassels, no. Every time I think of tassels,
talk about
every time I think of tassels, I think of this gypsy stripper downtown Portland. Long story short, there were tassels involved. I'm not sure how it worked, but anyway. Continue.
Oh my God. I'm sure that's exactly what he meant by tassels too. but that's
I'm
neither here
sure
nor
it
there. But God, okay, that Narc, you win for comment of the day. Thank you very much. But seriously, I knew that if I was going to be able to get anywhere else in the industry, I had to promote my name, and I had to promote myself and invest in myself. I finished my my MBA at that time. I started presenting myself around town at professional groups, and it led to my next couple of jobs after that. And I knew I needed to continue that. When I started my own trucking company, that then I thought I was okay. I'm here. I have my own name. I have my own company. Logos on the door. And then when my company went under, I'm like, okay, where do I go from here? And that's when I created my brand. But that's I'll dig deeper into that story another time. Where does Shimmi Ships come from? When did you realize you needed a brand?
Well, it came from realizing that people were already associating me with certain things, like independently, obviously, of where I worked. So, LTL, problem solving, actually knowing what's happening, calling bullshit when something doesn't make sense. I know, right? And being willing to say the thing that everybody in logistics is thinking, but apparently doesn't want to put on LinkedIn or say, like, just not being themselves. I didn't create it because I wanted to separate myself from STI. STI is a huge part of my story, my company that I work for. I live, breathe, eat, sleep STI. I am grateful for every opportunity I've been given. I am who I am because of the company. But I am the relationship. Shimmi Ships is the relationship that I have with people. And that relationship is portable. So I just wanted to have something to be able to be mine. And then also, I am a strong person. And so at the end of the day, when I need to be like, that's my opinion, those are my words, I represent me. And just kind of have a layer of safety.
It's important to do that. In fact, when I went to work for my current company, I specifically mentioned that, because of the media work and the fact that I do have my own brand and I am somewhat known. I won't say well known, but I am definitely somewhat known. I actually had built into my contract that my brand is separate from the company and that I will promote them separately. As such, so they made sure that they knew that it was copywritten and all that, so they can't take it from me if I do an appearance and the double broker bounty hunter thing pops up while I'm doing something for my company. I don't want their attorneys to sit there and try to take it away. So I legally defended myself to keep that from happening, because that is a big part of who I am now, and I think I want to keep that the rest of my life.
Yes. Sorry, my child just woke up.
Oh yeah.
So I also have my, the Freight Signal that I just started not too long ago newsletter. I didn't want Shimmi Ships to only mean the freight lady who says, fuck on LinkedIn, although branding, just saying. But I want people to associate my name with understanding freight operationally and not just reacting when something blows up. It's seeing the risk before the freight becomes a problem. It's what I've already been doing for my customers. It's what I do continuously. And so I wanted to bring that to life. So double broker bounty hunter is almost the opposite approach. It's incredibly specific, though. Was that intentional? Did you decide, like, this is the thing I want my name attached to instead of being known for everything? And while you answer that, I'm going to mute you so that I can handle the child.
Okay. So, yeah, I think Shimmi already knows my story, but that's in here and there. It really, what it is, I started it when the double brokering craze was still the big thing. And that's in around 2021. So while that was going on, the double broker bounty hunter was really actually a nickname given to me by my clients. I was a contract dispatcher. We realized what real brokerages were out there trying to do the double brokering, and then my carriers and we decided, you know what? We're not going to let these guys get away with it. We're going to hit them in the wallet. So we intentionally started booking their loads. We knew who the brokers were. And we knew that all their loads were double brokered. So we intentionally booked them. And then once we had the cargo in the truck, we would call the real broker, because I could look at I could look at a BOL and tell you who the real broker is. We call the real broker, and then and then the real broker would pay us an additional $500-600, whatever the real rate was supposed to be. And my carriers called that extra money the bounty. And me being a dispatcher, I was the bounty hunter, and that's how the double broker bounty hunter was born. I've used that brand to associate not just double brokering, but freight fraud in general, which is why I still have it up here today, and why I'll probably still have it. If any of you have seen the superhero AI thing that I've done of myself about 6 months ago, I am actually in the process of having that suit made. I'm talking to people on Etsy to actually have that made. And if I'm lucky, I'll actually be wearing that to Matt's next year. So it should be interesting to see. Talk about branding, showing up in my double broker bounty hunter superhero costume to Matt's.
Yeah.
That's branding.
You actually have a real costume?
I'm talking to some people at Etsy to have it made.
Wow. I'm not shocked, actually. Sorry. On brand. I'm also a mom, and tiny human woke up. So
hey, it happens. You ought to see when my puppy decides that she wants to be on the show. She does do that from time to time.
I know.
Ain't that right, little girl?
So let's talk about putting yourself out there, because people don't talk about that enough. Like, building a name gives people something to judge, and that can be really uncomfortable. Did you worry about putting yourself out there publicly when you first started?
I think because I've been in a professional position for hell, going on 30 years now.
A long time. Long time.
I was already comfortable with it. What I needed was a hook. I needed something to propel me from a professional standpoint, and I thought the Double Broker Bounty Hunter brand would do that. I still believe it'll do that. In fact, it's helped me get this job. So
yeah. Well, once you have visibility, people start having opinions. Some of them are useful, some of them are LinkedIn and trolly.
You know what? I welcome the trolls. I really do
same.
welcome the trolls. Because if nothing else, they give me more engagement. And I usually just say, hey, thank you very much. I appreciate you watching.
I like to tell them that's fan behavior.
It is, but at the same token, there are some valid points. I have my concrete views on what I think about stuff, and they may not be 100% correct. Now, look at freight overall. Okay, I started off in general freight. General freight has a pulse. General freight has a feel, a vibe, and then I moved into a different type of freight. I'm doing automotive right now. And automotive, man, whole a different world. So I would put information out about dealing with fraud, basic tips, and they're like, well, that doesn't quite work in the tanker world. That doesn't quite work in the auto world. Okay, I get that. So I have to be able to adjust depending on what my audience looks like. And now I'm trying to be focused on the different facets of the industry so that I can have a message that connects all the way through and weaves a common thread.
Well, and I think it's really important to distinguish that there's a difference between wanting everybody to like you and then wanting people to know what they expect from you, because those are not the same thing. So,
I don't give a shit if people like me.
Oh, me either. No, I don't either.
I just don't give a shit.
The people who like me for a reason, because Adam threw me off. Wait, this isn't where I parked my car?
Please let me swallow before you crack jokes.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Good morning, Adam. Adam has entered the chat, everyone. Adam Spencer.
The real Mr. Spencer is in the house.
The only Landstar person I will ever call a friend.
Oh, no. Don't go there. I know that Jeff Dickinson's a friend of yours too.
Okay, Jeff too. Fine. Okay.
He is also a Landstar agent.
I do not have a distaste for Landstar in the way that I have a distaste for you-know-who. Okay.
Yeah, I have to give Landstar a lot of credit here. Okay. And you want to talk about branding, you want to talk about imaging. Okay. Everyone knows that Landstar, it has a lot of controversy around it when it comes to double brokering. So when it comes to the whole double brokering thing, there are good agents, there are bad agents. They have such a massive agent program that they have to try to police those agents, which is where things go sideways.
Did you hear that, Adam? He just called you massive. He just called you fat, Adam. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
He's
I
not
wanna
going to
s
argue with me.
I
He's
wanna
getting in. He's getting into shape for his second career.
I wanna see him
But
brawl with you in your superhero costume at Matt's.
oh no, he's going to be actually putting bandages and slings on me after I get done a fight at Matt's. But that's neither here nor there. So when
You'd get your ass kicked. I love you,
I have
but
a very
you'd get
good
your ass
relationship.
kicked.
I have a very good relationship with the guys at the security office at Landstar, and I have helped them identify some of the bad agencies that are there. And when I turn in a bad agency for double brokering and whatnot, and I present the evidence to them, they usually have that agency shut down within a couple of days. So I have to give Landstar credit. They are making an effort. For the most part, they are a great company. For the most part. But if you come across a bad guy, let me know, and I'll get him dealt with.
He'll get him in his superhero costume. Good morning, Delphine. She's on the road this morning. Oh, we had such a good weekend. She was here for the weekend, and she helped with Sophie, and we went and got our nails done. We got to feel like girls for a little bit. It was really nice.
I was about to say, I saw the picture of you two at the salon. That's always nice. So you got your nails did. I got my nails did, and all is good in the world.
Yeah, and it was really nice because Delphine's in a truck all the time, and she doesn't get to dress up. Sometimes she doesn't get to feel clean. Hell, so it was really nice to actually just go out to breakfast, and she got to meet my other daughter, and stuff. So it was really nice. Okay, so what's actually been harder, getting attention or earning trust? Because I think attention is easier. But you can say something outrageous tomorrow and get attention, but trust takes receipts. It's people watching you show up over and over, realizing she actually knows her shit. He actually can do this. They actually answer the phone when something goes wrong. You don't build that from a post.
No, you have a couple different angles you have to deal with there. You have to first you have to be able to trust yourself. I have myself. I have a huge problem when it comes to trusting myself and believing in what I can do. I know I'm good here, but every now and again, it doesn't translate through everything else I'm doing, and then I second guess myself. I second guess: am I really this good? Do I really deserve to call myself a specialist? And that complex can really mess with you. So you have to be able to ground yourself. You have to be able to be true to yourself before you can put yourself out there and really present yourself in a genuine way. And being genuine is part of the trick. You have to be genuine. You have to be passionate about what you do. And then once you do that, then you develop your niche however you want to. Freight fraud is such a small niche in the freight community. And the freight community itself is a small niche in the wide world. So I'm in this tiny little thing where I've got my YouTube's only got 350 followers. I'm not the super popular guy, but every single one of them is very concerned about freight fraud and is very focused on trying to deal with those things. And I cater to that. So I know where I belong. I know my niche, and I grow it from there. This has been a great opportunity in and of itself. KTM has given me a great opportunity to expand that and to bring that out there. And seriously, with my own complex, I always say, okay, am I really good enough to do this? Yeah, of course I am, but it's still, I have to psych myself up some mornings. I have to do that superhero pose in the mirror. Yeah, I'm badass. I know it. Okay,
great. But now Narkin's gonna be picturing you naked in front of a mirror in a superhero pose. Thanks, John.
I don't want to put that thought in your head. That will gross even me out. Okay, this is why I turn out the lights at night. So no, no. I much prefer to do it in a 3-piece suit, double-breasted, and with an Italian flag behind me, it plays Sicilian music in the background, and then I take it to strike a John Gotti pose, and then I know I am
okay.
The Don.
Moving on. So. Personal brands are weird because part of it's intentional and part of it, everybody else is deciding what you're known for, right? Like sometimes your brand is less about what you put in your bio and more about what people start tagging you in, because that's probably some of the best marketing research you'll ever get.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the double broker bounty hunter thing was given to me. I didn't assign this. It was given to me and I made it my own. But I mean, Shimmy Ships, I mean, that just rolls off the damn tongue.
I would love to take
really
credit
good.
for it, but I don't even remember. I want to say it was on a logistics lounge, maybe, that the guys, I don't know, maybe somebody said, I can't remember. It stuck though, and it did. It was so, it just rolled off the tongue. It was nice.
Those that's the best branding. When somebody does the branding for you, that is by far the best. When you're trying to be creative for yourself and you do it yourself, you come off so phony.
Yeah.
And that is a turnoff to so many people. It's a turnoff for me.
Yeah.
You know, so as I'm looking at motor carriers and I'm looking at the kinds of things, the ways that they represent themselves, a lot of times it's a turnoff because they try to force ideas down your throat, creative spellings of words, using numbers as letters. Guys, come on. All you're trying to do is you're trying to be flashy, and in most cases, it doesn't play. It doesn't play. You know what really impresses me? Oh my God.
Is it weird? Narc says, is it weird? I already pictured John and Amir striking a pose, but with Shimmy's face most mornings already. Maybe I'll keep some thoughts to myself. Well, now we know your type.
There is nothing wrong with being pan. I like that. That's great.
Oh
Oh
my God.
So, oh my God, you completely derailed the train. Thank you very much, Narc. I love it. So, but I'll tell you, one of the best things when I'm looking at a motor carrier and I'm trying to evaluate whether or not a motor carrier is genuine, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's genuine. Okay. Motor carriers, get the hell away from Gmail emails. Get away from the public domains. For the love of God, get the hell away from. It's only $50 a year to get your own domain and your own email address under your company name. Please, for the love of God, be professional. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for professionalism. And when you do that, I take a motor carrier far more seriously when they come to me and say, John, I've got a problem. Okay, let's hear your problem. I'm more apt to handle it that way. But, again, it's about branding. How are you going to represent yourself to the world?
Well, I think also freight's especially interesting because your reputation isn't really built when everything works either. So anybody can look competent when pickup is on time, delivery is clean, nobody needs anything. And then at 4:47 on a fucking Friday afternoon when everything is a dumpster fire, like, do you disappear? Do you blame everybody else? Do you tell the truth? Like, do you help fix it? People remember that. And that's important. That's what I want people to understand, is that I'm there, and that's my reputation. Your reputation matters. I always say in there's people that will say, hey, Shimmy, can you do this? Can you recommend me for this? Can you do this? Can you blah, 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 blah. And I'll say, I have probably maybe recommended people in this industry less than in 16 years, like less than 10 times. Like, I can't even count how many people I could count them on two hands, because my reputation matters in this industry is so small that you have to be very, very choosy on who you put your word behind. And that's, your reputation matters. Have you ever decided not to post or say something because the short-term satisfaction wasn't worth it, or what it could do to your reputation?
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. I would say half the posts that I go to write, I'm swinging a very big club in those posts, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't like burning bridges. I don't like pissing too many people off. Stick to the facts. Don't rail on my own opinion. And I delete probably half the posts that I write before I post it, because of that very thought. When people go off of their gut instinct and just post what the first thing that comes to their mind, it gets you into so much trouble sometimes. Because let's face it, hiring managers are looking at your posts. If you're looking to continue to evolve and to grow in an industry, they are going to go and look at your social media. They are going to look at your YouTube. They're going to look at all the different things that you promote, because the stuff you promote talks about you as a person. It talks about your brand, and whether or not you believe it, you are always branding yourself. Whether you've got a fun little logo here, thank you to my wife for actually developing this one. yeah, regardless of whether or not you have a logo, you are still branding yourself. So your
Right.
posts matter. They really do. And they will go and look at your social media before they make a hiring decision. And it could make or break you.
Yes, that's right. I have an uncomfortable one, okay, or a slightly uncomfortable one. Personal brand versus company brand. What happens when someone's personal brand becomes bigger than or just very different from the company they work for? Because we've all seen it happen. I don't think it's necessarily bad. A good company should probably want employees with credibility, but there has to be trust on both sides. So when do you think personal brand strengthens the company behind you, and when can it become a problem?
It's a problem when the personal brand becomes a liability to the company. Now, as I said earlier, the company I work for now, I actually have a legal documentation to protect my brand and maintain a separation between my company, the company I work for, and my own brand. However, the fact that I have this brand and the brand is recognized is a marketing mechanism for the company I work for as well, because in the industry, in the automotive space, nobody else has somebody like me. I mean, everyone's got fraud people. I have a very
Right.
unique set of skills. You know, I don't want to go into my Taken speech here, you know, but I
We
have a very
all
unique
know
set
the
of
Taken
skills.
speech. We
Yes, we
all
do.
have a very specific set of skills, and we will
Yeah.
find you.
Absolutely. And that's what I do. And other people in this industry don't always go do that. They don't go hunting cargo. I do. And I'm usually pretty damn good at it. And I know that my company uses that as a marketing tool, and I'm very happy with them doing that. But
They
the
trust you.
day that becomes toxic, the day that becomes toxic is the day that I need to leave.
Right.
But I can tell you right now, I love the hell out of the company I work for. They take great care of me. I have no plans on going anywhere. Kevin, you don't have to worry about it, buddy. I promise.
Oh, he'd be okay with just me. You don't think he would?
No, the CEO of the company I work for.
Oh, different Kevin. Yeah, Kevin,
Different
he's
Kevin.
great. You can
No.
keep Okay. Network versus following. Okay. Would you rather have 50,000 followers or 500 people in transportation who would answer when you called? Because I'm taking the second one every time, hands down. A following can introduce you to people. A network actually moves things. And this industry runs on relationships long before it runs on algorithms. But do you want a strong network or a huge following? You only get one.
It definitely a strong network. There's no two ways. I mean, I've said it before. My YouTube's only 300 people, but those 300 people are focused on compliance and regulatory issues and whatnot. It's a very strong group. So I know that I can reach out to them anytime, and I can get responses, and I can get help when I need it. I can get education from them if I need it, et cetera, et cetera. Without a doubt, the small tight group that you know and trust, you better believe I'd go for that all the time. I know Mother is very concerned because as a producer, you're always concerned about what your numbers look like. I appreciate that, and I'm happy to support that in any way I can. I'm sorry for those of you who are watching on my social media. I put my social media in at like a few minutes after we started. I normally have it before we start, but that's okay. I don't pay attention to my own numbers. I think I get maybe about, I don't know, 4,000 views on my LinkedIn every week among everything that I do. And I know that's not a lot, but you know, I don't care. I really don't care. All I care about is making sure I've got good information going out. That's what I care about. I want to make sure that people who see my stuff trust what I'm doing, and they're getting good information in the process.
Right. Well, maybe the easiest test of whether you've actually built a reputation is if you left your company tomorrow, would you still answer? Who would still answer your call? Not because of your title or your logo or your fun little costume, but because it's you, not because you control their freight. I mean, well, you know me, I control their freight. That doesn't mean because it's you. It doesn't mean you're stealing customers. It doesn't mean disrespecting the company you work for. It means you've built human relationships instead of purely transactional ones. And those relationships compound. Like I know that if I went somewhere, if I chose to go somewhere, I would have people follow me. Now, I don't want to leave STI. I don't want to take anything away from them. They've given me everything, you know, and so I wouldn't want to do that. But if I did choose to go elsewhere, I know I would have a following because of the way that I work, because of my reputation and what I do for them.
Well, you have a strong sales base. I'm not in sales.
I'm not in
I
sales.
operate.
I'm not in
Well,
sales. I well, I mean, I do a consultative sales approach, and my sales is a lot of natural growth within the customers that we already have, because we're more of a niche brokerage where we have customers that we've had for 20 something years. We've had some for 7, 9, 10 long-term customers, and we've grown with them. We've helped them grow, and so we do a lot of, and then a lot of their vendors have become our customers, and so we do a lot of sales, just natural growth, which is actually, I would say it's less common in this industry, but
well,
it's how I prefer to work
those
anyway.
inside sales, those inside sales still constitute sales.
Mhm.
So if you walk away and you are able to take a book of business with you because of the relationships you've developed, that's one thing. But that's from the sales and service that you provide. My world is a little different because I'm not going to sit there and take customers where I go. What's going to end up happening is the minute that people find out that I'm no longer with who I'm with, that's when my phone starts blowing up
Mhm.
because it's not going to be, hey, what network can you bring in? It's going to be, hey, we want your capability. So
Right.
it's a slightly different type of mentality. Do I think that if I left my current employer now that my phone would ring off the hook? I know it would. And I seriously
Isn't
doubt
it
I'll ever be
nice?
without a job. It is a
Isn't
fantastic feeling.
isn't
It
it
took me
nice?
almost 30 years of being a professional to get there, but absolutely, I love the hell out of it.
It's so
Yeah,
nice
but
being able to feel like you have value and that other people genuinely see value in who you are and what you can do for them. I am just now, after 16 years of being in this, just now really honestly feeling that and being comfortable with knowing that I actually have value. I know I'm not perfect. I fuck up all the time. I'm not perfect. And my boss, for example, we always say that we're yin and yang, or I say that a lot, because my strengths are her weaknesses and her weaknesses are my strengths. And so that's one of the reasons why we work so well. And we communicate with, hey, we're not happy with this. Hey, what can we do this? Hey, I'm not great at this. Can you do this? And so I know my value, and I also know my weaknesses. I know my strengths and weaknesses too. Somebody says, question to you both. What's your ultimate nightmare job pick? I'll go first. Sales.
definitely,
I
without a doubt.
I'm not afraid of sales. I think that sales today is a different environment because it's so nasty and it's so cutthroat in our industry, and there's such a huge recourse if you fail. And there's a lot of companies now, a lot of the 3 letters especially, they're not even giving you the support you need to be successful, because a lot of people cannot be successful on their own in sales without some sort of support. And it's I wouldn't want to be a pure salesman in this industry right now. I mean, maybe in a certain, at least not in brokerage. I honestly wouldn't. I don't. People are just setting up
Well,
this environment to be so
you remember in
nasty.
high school, you took an aptitude test and it told you generally what career field that you should be focused in based on your aptitude. For me, it was pharmaceutical sales. And you want to talk about yawn? I'm like, no, I am. There's no interest whatsoever for going into something like that. So as I look at sales, I know that everything we do on a professional level leads towards sales for our employers. I know
Oh,
that, I understand that, and I conduct myself
mhm.
appropriately. But me going to make a sales pitch, I spent the last 10 years working working on commissions or working for myself, where I didn't know how much I was making from paycheck to paycheck. And let me tell you something, there is nothing that'll age you faster than not knowing whether or not
Yeah,
you're going to be able to make this month's rent.
yeah.
Um, a steady paycheck for me is where it's at, and sales does not usually provide a steady paycheck.
Especially when you throw in things like children. I got one of those.
Oh, I don't even want to think. Yeah,
I got a few.
my wife and I made a decision early on in our marriage that we did not want kids, and I am so glad. I have no idea how people can afford kids. I have no freaking clue how you do it. My wife and I are both professionals. We both make decent money. And we still have a hard time, just making sure we have our own stuff covered. How the hell do you all do it with kids? I have no fucking clue.
I'm a one income household with a kid with special needs. So, brother, I feel you on the fucking feeling like I can't
bless
figure
you.
it.
God bless you, because I don't know how you manage to get out of bed every day and not die of a heart attack before you go to bed at night.
Because I can't, because I have to be alive for my child. Okay.
God, anyone who has to deal with that situation, you are a better person than I am. God bless you.
I want real quick before we move on to the word of the day. What do you think in high school, there were two things I wanted to do. What do you think one of those, or what do you think those would have been, or one of them?
Fashion designer.
No.
I would have jumped to fashion designer all day long. Okay, so what did you want to do?
And tell me if you're shocked, okay? I wanted to, since I was like 13, I wanted to do sports marketing.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. And then the other one was a stockbroker.
I do not see you as a stockbroker. No chance in hell.
I no longer see me as a stockbroker, but I would read books. I would look at videos. Everybody wants to be bought, but nobody wants to be sold.
Okay, comment of the day. Sorry, Narc, you got bumped. There you go. That's the winner right there. I want to see that on a shirt. Okay, that's freaking, whoever you are, LinkedIn user, I love you. That's amazing.
Who is that? Probably Delphine, maybe. I don't know. I can't see. So let's move on to the word of the day, because I think it's perfect for this conversation. Today's word is authority.
We're not talking about a badge on this one, guys.
No. So in trucking, operating authority is the legal permission that allows certain carriers, brokers, and other regulated entities to conduct specific transportation activities. You can apply for it, you can file the paperwork, and you can pay the fees. But there's another kind of authority nobody can file for: credibility. The kind that happens when somebody hears your name and already knows what you stand for, and whether they trust you. You can buy insurance, you can file for the authority, you can build a website. You cannot file paperwork for credibility. That part you have to earn. And really, that's the entire conversation for today, right?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Your branding is it says who you are, and if you brand yourself properly, then you're in a great place. Of course, the legal definition is having that MC number, which is going away. God only knows when, but it's supposed to be going away. But we'll see how that plays out.
And what do we have red flag today?
I do have a red flag today. And I was late getting this over to Mother, but it's okay. I still do have it. I love good news stories, and good news stories to me are people who get in trouble for doing the bad shit that really pisses the rest of us off and screws us over. In this particular case, you have a few guys over at the U.S. Postal Service who for 2 years have been identifying checks in the mail and taking those checks out. They then turn around and sell those checks to other people, to other people specifically, according to the indictment, and have been shipping those checks through FedEx to hide their tracks. They've been using Telegram to coordinate this particular ring. So this ring of fraud has, over a 2-year period, stolen checks valued at $23,973,338.15. However, the article's not that specific in all the details, but they sure as hell got that number right. What we don't know is we don't know how much the 3 postal service carriers made in selling those checks. But I think if I were selling a check for $2 million, I think I would put a $1 million price tag on that, Share the wealth, baby, 50-50 all the way. So I'm willing to bet that over 2 years, each of these guys have made well over a couple $1 million a year in trying to do this. So now this indictment in Houston has 5 people. 3 of them are Postal Service employees. 2 of them, they did not give details about the other 2 other than names. They are going to be tried for the fun stuff that they have been doing. I cannot wait to see what kind of sentences these guys get. The worst part is when you do stuff like that, there's you still have to pay the money back. So after serving their time in jail, they got to figure out how to make their victims whole. That is going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
I was wondering how they do that. Well, before we wrap up, looks like we've got a shout out that absolutely deserves some airtime. Yesterday, Natasha Cruz Sanchez took her voice straight to the Texas Capitol, speaking before the Senate Committee on Transportation. She sent us her 2-minute remarks, and we wanted to share a little bit of that moment with you. It's one thing to talk about what needs to change in transportation. It's another thing to walk into a room where those decisions are being discussed and make sure the people making them hear directly from the industry. So, Natasha, big Do You Even Freight shout out to you for showing up, speaking up, and representing. Here's the beginning of what she had to say.
And your affiliation.
Yes, sir. My name is Natasha Cruz Sanchez. I am from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Thank you, Chairman and members, for having me here. I'm a truck driver. I'm a logistics professional and also an advocate. I'm here representing myself and standing alongside truck drivers who may not have a voice in this room right now. If you read the Bible, in Leviticus 16, there is a description of a goat that was symbolically given the sins of an entire community. The sins were placed on the goat, and that goat was sent away into the wilderness. The goat became the one carrying the blame, and I believe that is happening in trucking right now. Sometimes I wonder how many policymakers making decisions about commercial drivers have actually spent time behind the wheel. Because once you have done the job, you see things a little differently. The reality on the road doesn't always fit neatly on paper. If we go back to 1980, the Motor Carrier Act substantially deregulated interstate trucking and changed the economics of this industry. Competition.
Good for her.
That's very poignant. That's very poignant. That's an amazing, amazing remark, and it says a lot. And you saw the T-shirt of the gentleman to her right, indicating that he is a Sikh. I have heard so many guys on Reddit talk about get these towel heads out of here and all that fun stuff. I am willing to bet that half the Sikhs that are out there have probably more American generations than some of the guys complaining about them, and they're probably better drivers. We lump so many people into certain buckets based on appearance, based on religion, based on all different kinds of things. And she
Job
is
title
100% right. She is 100% right in how regulations and how some lawmakers are treating people. Walk a mile in their shoes.
Yeah.
For the love of God, walk a mile in the shoes. I drove. I was a good dispatcher because I was behind the wheel. I know what a driver thinks about. I know what their issues are. I know what their concerns are, and I can anticipate it before they have to vocalize it to me. So I got it. I understood. And I think that's what helped make me what I am. What makes me so good at dealing with fraud is that I have done so many different things in logistics. I can see the different vectors. I can see the different angles. I can see the different weaknesses that most people cannot. And that really, I think, opens up a lot of things. Natasha is 100% right. And you go, girl.
Yeah.
You go.
Well, I think what you just said is what people will associate your name with a double broker bounty hunter. And I think for me, if Shimmi Ships disappeared tomorrow, you know, I'd want people to say she knew her shit. She cared about the people she worked with. She told the truth. And if something went sideways, she was somebody you wanted in the room. The brand can change, and I want that part to stay. And I feel like that's the same with you. Did you say?
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Well, I think that we need to wrap it up. It's time to go. So what is it that you have to say for us, John?
Well,
I like your outros.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, as you all know, we are always out there. Be sure to check us out on our social media. Check out KTM's website. That's kissthismedia.com. You can get the last 5 episodes of our show on kissthismedia.com. You can also go back to the rest of our archive on our YouTube channel, kissthismedia.com. We are always live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. Central or 9 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to check us out. We love being here. We love sharing our knowledge with you, and we love your comments. We're happy to answer your questions. So
and
if you
Kevin
ever have
will
any,
be back with us on Friday as well. So you won't have to listen to John so much or me. We all know Kevin has that.
It's okay.
Kevin has that Texas twang that some people like. It's not me. I hate it. I would never.
You have got to see the fan mail we are getting here at the studio for him. Okay. And yes, he is single, ladies.
It's that big
he is single. Okay. So for the entire KTM team, thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys on Friday. And one question we have for you: do you even freight?
Even freight?
See you Friday.